only imagined. So let's look at reason and imagination and their respective fruits while keeping Saturn and Neptune close to our hearts. As you can see, I have two columns here, and under reason I have placed matters like logic, objectivity, empiricism, positivism, and literalism. Under imagination, fantasy, dream, story, myth, and symbol. And reason has given us science and technology. Imagination has given us arts and religions. The factual realities that reason has generated have given us shelter, clothing, communications, transportation, medicine, nutrition, and material abundance, all wonderful things. The fictive realities of imagination have generated ritual, drama, literature, music, poetry, and art. These have led to, in terms of reason, better health for humanity, human progress, and improvements. Under imagination, it has resulted in deepening our sense of belonging to the cosmos, a greater sense of being connected with our environment, and giving us a sense of meaning that life has some purpose and meaning that we hope to discover during the course of our own lifetimes. The triumph of reason, however, has cast a long shadow behind it that will be helpful to examine to get a sense of the need for the revalorization of imagination, and with that, astrology. The cultural dominance of reason as a way of inquiry into the world has engendered alienation and disconnection. This comes about via reason's necessity to divide the world into subject-object. We immediately are separated from the environment. Home is elsewhere. We have objectified the world and feel alienated from it. We become disconnected from ourselves, our community, and our planet. And we begin to feel like strangers in a strange land because the world becomes objects amongst us. The second branch of this is secularization and trivialization. Once we objectify the world and withdraw consciousness from everywhere but inside our heads, this increases the opportunity for secularization or secular process to develop, which refers to the increasing disappearance of the sacred or the divine from everyday life. We no longer have cultural spaces, cultural sacred spaces, no sacred places, no sacred rivers, no sacred wells or mountains towards which we can pilgrimage. Space has become homogeneous. Every place is the same place. One McDonald's or Hilton is reassuringly the same as any other. Also, as a culture, we have no sense of sacred time. One day is pretty much like any other day. Holidays float on the convenience of Mondays. Sundays, once reserved as holy days, now mirror any other day for working, shopping, or purchasing alcohol. Events that were once special, once in a lifetime occasions, and participatory in nature, can now be recorded for viewing later on tape or DVR, and thereby trivializing their individual and unique particularity by making them endlessly available to re-experience. And it's those moments of firsts in our lives that we tend to talk about and we tend to remember and tend to think of as special. Our first kiss, our first sexual experience, our first wedding, the birth of a first child. But now that we're able to increasingly record those events, to the degree that we're willing to, of course, birth of a child, perhaps, we have it endlessly available for us to re-experience from an objectified observer status. Astrologers, however, are imbued with the fantasy of the heterogeneity of space and time, that space and time matter. Particularity matters. This space is qualitatively different from that space, this time from that time. Events are special and they count for something. So the sacredness of space and time are fundamental to the nature of the birth chart.